Hi, I'm Amy Williams, former Team GB skeleton athlete and Winter Olympic gold medalist from the 2010 Vancouver Olympics. I was an athlete before, did athletics. I was the kind of kid at school, we did everything, every sport you can imagine. And then I really wanted to do athletics, really after watching Sally Gunnell win her 400 metre hurdle in the Barcelona Olympics. For me, that was a, one sprint around the track. That is hardcore, that is sprinting. Didn't want to do the hurdles, but I aimed and wanted to go to a Summer Olympics. And as it happened, I knew in the end I just wasn't fast enough at the right time, and actually had a lot of compartment syndrome, like a lot of shin splints and problems with my shins. So I couldn't do the long distance stuff. So my eyes were sort of scooting around and looking, and I happened to stumble across the skeleton and bobsleigh athletes in the gym at the University of Bath, and invited myself to go and have a go. And they were about to go and do this start track session. And yeah, I mean, I guess that talent and the transition from the speed, from sprinting, crossed over. I went out to Holland and competed in the World Push Championships in the summer of 2002. And yeah, was luckily fast at it and gave it a go. Hated it, like absolutely hated it. You can't even explain that first experience of when you do the sport. It's like being in a washing machine. You start from halfway and someone just pushes you off and you trickle down, but it's fast. You can't simulate that speed and the forces on your body. And well, eventually you just keep going and you want to get better, and that addiction takes over. And I wanted to compete for my country. I wanted to compete for Great Britain. After those first 2 weeks on that military ice camp, they said, well, look, you know, you can have a place within the team. And straight away I was like, okay, that means I can compete for Great Britain. And that was then the sort of stepping stone getting into that winter world, a completely unknown experience and an unknown world for me. It's a precision sport, and every little second counts. You're sled down 14 to 19 corners. Speeds up to averagely 70-80 miles per hour. Fastest at the Olympics for me was 92 miles per hour. An inch off the ice. You're feeling what you can hear on the ice and the feelings through your body of working with those G-forces and pressures to be able to get the fastest line, the quickest line around each corner. Every decision of every day was, will this help me go to the Olympics, yes or no? Will this help me become a better athlete, yes or no? Pushing your body to the limit, lifting heavy weights and doing everything you physically could to be the strongest, fittest, fastest athlete. And the repercussions of it now, when you've retired, for me, for sure, I still have that daily in my life, that kind of pain that you slowly just learn to live with. For any athlete, retiring, I think, is always a tricky decision. Although I love my sport, I'm still passionate about it. I truly believed I could then go to the next Olympics, the Sochi Olympics, and win a medal again, and I really wanted to do that. But I was in pain every single day, and it was a battle. I was struggling with injuries. I've got damaged discs in my back and my neck. And so I was in pain. I'd been in pain for the past 8 years of my life when I was competing. On the physio bed, being stuck together, glued together, epidural injections multiple times a year in my back. And I felt like looking after my body with the injuries that I had was more important. I look like I'm fit and strong and healthy, but really not. My body now that I live with is the knock-on effect of my sport and of 10 years in my sport. I've been on the top end of that high performance. How quick can we get this athlete back into fitness, jab them up with injections to block all the pain so they don't feel the pain, and then they can still play. Pretty much the story of my life. Fine. Well, it's not fine, but go back all the way to that 5-year-old, the 10-year-old. And that's where it really does need to be focused, and that's where we all need to learn. We need to have the research, we need to have that development so that they know for later life, but we can all know certain things can't happen or shouldn't happen, or how do we prevent it and how do we remain injury free. I think starting off in the grassroots, it's just so important. The education to parents, to school teachers. That's where it needs to start, so it just becomes part of normal life. And that's why, for me, being involved in all this project is really important. I've got 2 young boys, they're mental, they're crazy. The littlest one definitely has my wild gene, and I want them to stay as injury-free as possible throughout their, hopefully, sporting careers, lives, or just the love of the outdoors and being active. Knowing that they can grow up in a world of more data, more knowledge and more stats is really reassuring. For me, wanting to be involved with Podium as an ambassador and a voice, I just want to know that there is a safer world out there in sport for young people, and that someone is out there getting all of that information to pass it to you. To pass it to you as a parent, to pass it to you as a young athlete, so that you can stay safer in your sport, enjoy your sports more, your activities, potentially stop injuries from happening. As an athlete myself, and who lives with the pain of sports injuries every day in my life now, I don't want anyone else living with that same pain. And Podium, fingers crossed, are stopping that from happening.